I tried to not watch the Houston Astros last night. The girlfriend was over. We were watching the Ken Burns documentary, Jazz. I know I didn't miss much. There were 3 hits, 2 of them by Christian Walker. They scored 1 run, but somehow I did, in the corner of my eye, because I got a 2 TV setup. Big TV was watching the Ken Burns documentary. Small TVs watching the Astros play against the homeless A's. And I look up on my screen, and every single time I looked up, it felt like the Astros were doing some dumb shit defensively. In case you missed it last night, here are a couple of clips on this one. You had the pop-up in the infield where Christian Walker's too late in and Christian Javier misses it. You had this attempted catch by Jake Myers. Ball rolls out of his glove. You could tell he was mad about it afterwards. I mean, that would have been a tough catch, but he still should have made it. You've also got this moment, too, where, I mean, you're playing the A's. The A's are supposed to look like that. And you've actually, I think, lost the season series with the A's on the year. Isn't that crazy? So maybe some of those defensive issues are a result of the lights for the A's. I saw Christian Walker say there's lots of yellows and tans at the top of the press box against the sky. But goddamn, they are in a tough spot, these Houston Astros. They currently are 4 games back of the Mariners for first place in the American League West. Seattle's magic number is 2. They're 1 game back of the Detroit Tigers for the final wild card spot. Boston, Detroit, Cleveland hold the tiebreakers over them. If you've not seen the wild card standings, here they are for your viewing pleasure. If you're watching along on YouTube at Paul Gallant, on Twitch at Gallant Says, Facebook at Paul Gallant Sports, on Instagram at Sports Gallant. Instagram's been a little screwy today. Basically, yeah, you need the Detroit Tigers to continue collapsing the way that they've been collapsing. Some interesting takes are starting to circulate. What happens next for the Astros? I saw Ben on the top pushing this. He's a fun follow for Astros fans on X because he's definitely polarizing. About as loud and as obnoxious a fan as it comes. Puts together some cool highlight reels from time to time. I've got no beef with him, and I will take all meaty speculation with a grain of salt, but I'll take it in, and I'll wonder, given that once Ben on the top before the trade deadline was one of the people who was hearing that the Astros were thinking about trading for Carlos Correa. At the very least, he is talking to someone in the building. That is my belief. Does that make him a baseball reporter? No. Should a baseball reporter get butthurt about him knowing people in the building? Also, no. For the sake of being fair and balanced, I'm just going to show you a couple of Ben on the top takes about this specific topic and specific question that I'm going to ask. Paul, you're taking a lot of time to set things up. Yes, I know. I'm trying to make sure that for a change, everything is technically sound on the Twitter side of things. Okay? Cut me some goddamn slack. This has been a pretty rough show on that front to this point. So June 19th, Ben on the top posted, Espada is putting together a strong case for manager of the year. A little bit later, on July 29th, Ben said Joe Espada has been in his motherfucking bag this year. And if you can't see it, you just aren't qualified to speak on this shit. A little bit later, This year, literally more than any year, it's 100,000% unfair to blame anything on the manager, Joe Espada. So he seems pretty pro Joe Espada there, right? But things started changing over the last 10 days or so. Ben on the Top posts this September 11th at 4:12. I wonder how Espada is feeling right now. It's so fucking obvious that his team just doesn't come to the ballpark ready to play for him right now. I wouldn't put this all on him because they look like shit in every facet, but this is what I personally am seeing watching his club. More anti-Espada rhetoric from Ben on the Top. Espada himself looks scared too, to be honest. On September 20th, someone said, I don't see how this is Espada's fault. Ben on the Top says, I didn't say it was his fault. I said I think the Astros can find someone else better suited for the job than Espada. Espada kind of just got it by default. If he wasn't already in the building, it would have never been him to begin with. Just my take. And one last one. The only way to overcome this now is to win out in the regular season. In my opinion, I believe that's the only way that Joe saves his job, but that might not be enough. I'm telling y'all, Jim ain't going to be pleased with this shit. Why should he be? So he's flip-flopped. But he is connected with someone. And it does make me wonder if the speculation that started taking place last night after the Astros lost 5-1 to the A's about Joe Espada's job security is fair based off of this video clip at the end of the game on the Space City home network. In case you missed it, here it is. You got Correa and Espada talking with one another. Correa walks away. A lot of people focused on that and acted like Correa is sick of Espada. I think that's reaching. I really think it's reaching. But I do think it is an interesting question to ask now. Does Jim Crane get reactionary? The same guy who moved on from his general manager after winning a World Series, does he look at Joe Espada and say, yeah, I need a better manager? Is Joe Espada here next year? This is where we have entered in terms of realms of speculation.